Hare Krishna. Um, in the um, when Krishna and Balram they were small and they were given charge of small calves, not the big cows but the smaller calves, and they set out to herd these cows in the green pastures of the land of Vrindavan. So the first responsibility of the cowherd boys was to take care of the little calves. The boys are trained in this from the very beginning of their childhood. So, along with other little cowherd boys, Krishna Balram went into the pasturing ground and took charge of the calves and played with their playmates. While taking charge of the calves, sometimes the two brothers played on their flutes, and sometimes they played with amalki fruits and bale fruits. Amalki is the small green juicy fruit which everyone likes, and to take it very much. It is fully loaded with vitamin C. And then the bale fruits. There is another fruit. It has a flower also, and from that bale, a nice drink, fruit drink is made, and it's very delicious. So these fruits, they played with the fruits, amalki and bale, just like small children play with balls. Sometimes they danced and made tinkling sounds with their ankle bells. Nowadays, we don't see that many children, the boys, they wear the ankle bells. But yet, these boys of Vrindavan Braj, Krishna and Balram, they had ankle bells. The tinkling sounds of their ankle bells was heard as they ran around playing with the calves. Sometimes they made themselves into bulls and cows by covering themselves with blankets. They would play pranks like this, and the two brothers also used to imitate the sounds of bull and cows and play at bullfighting. Sometimes they used to imitate the sound of various animals and birds. In this way, they enjoyed their childhood pastimes apparently like ordinary mundane children. So that whenever the Lord descends, we know He performs human like pastimes, and it gives a lot of joy to the devotees, and also the Lord is also very much amused. Once, when Krishna and Balram were playing on the bank of Yamuna, a demon of the name Vatsasur assumed the shape of a calf and came there intending to kill the brothers. In Vrindavan, one or the other demon would always be visiting these boys, the Krishna and Balram. That is the Leela. That is the Leela of the Lord in Vrindavan. Whenever He descends, He comes to uh, give the uh, give the joy of pastimes of Vrindavan to the deserving ones. He comes for them. And in the process, then whenever there is an opposition, it is the Lord's Leela. So whoever is opposing the demons, they also become a part of the Leela, and that is how the Lord's Leela progresses. So when you're doing devotion, you cannot expect that there will be no hindrance, no disturbance, and everything will be going on smooth. Here we see in the Vrindavan pastimes that the Lord, these boys, the Lord Krishna and Balram, they are disturbed every now and then by various demons. So many demons come one after other whenever good times are there, and then suddenly the scene changes. So this time, who came? It was Vatsasur. He assumed the simple shape of a calf and came there intending to kill the brothers. And taking the shape of a calf, the demon could mingle with other calves. Krishna, however, specifically noticed this, and he immediately told Balram about the entrance of the demon. The Lord sensed it. Both brothers then followed him and sneaked up upon him. Krishna caught hold of the demon calf by two hind legs and tail, whipped him around very forcibly, and threw him up into a tree. The demon lost his life and fell down from the top of the tree to the ground. When the demon lay dead on the ground, all the playmates of Krishna congratulated him. Well done, well done. and the demigods in the sky began to shower flowers with great satisfaction. In this way, the maintainers of the complete creation, Krishna Balram, used to take care of the calves in the morning every day, and they enjoyed their childhood pastimes as cowherd boys in Vrindavan. All the cowherd boys would daily go back to river Yamuna to water their calves. Usually, when the calves drank water from Yamuna, the boys also drank. One day, after drinking, when they were sitting on the bank of the river, they saw a huge animal which looked something like a duck and was as big as a hill. Its top was as strong as a thunderbolt. When they saw that unusual animal, they became afraid of it. The name of this beast was Bakasur, and he was a friend of Kansa. He appeared on the scene suddenly and immediately attacked Krishna with his pointed sharp beaks and quickly swallowed him up. When Krishna was thus swallowed, all the boys headed by Balram became almost breathless as if they had died. But when Bakasur demon was swallowing up Krishna, he felt a burning fiery sensation in his throat, and this was due to the glowing effulgence of Krishna. The demon quickly threw Krishna up and tried to kill him by pinching him in his beaks. Bakasur did not know that although Krishna was playing the part of a child of Nand Maharaj, he was still the original father of Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe, the child of Mother Yashoda, who is the reservoir of pleasure for the demigods and who is the maintainer of saintly persons, caught hold of the beaks of the great gigantic duck, and before his cowherd boy friends bifurcated his mouth, just as a child very easily splits a blade of grass. From the sky, the denizens of the heavenly planets showered flowers like the flower, the chameli. It is the most scented of all the flowers. It showered them as a token of their congratulations. Accompanying the showers of flowers was a vibration of bugles, drums, and conch shells. When the boys saw the showering of flowers and heard the celestial sounds, they became struck with wonder. When they saw Krishna, they all, including Balram, was so pleased that it seemed as if they had regained their very source of life. As soon as they saw Krishna coming towards them, they one after another embraced the son of Nanda and held him to their chests. After this, they assembled all the calves under their charge and began to return home. When they arrived home, they began to speak of the wonderful activities of the son of Nanda. When the gopis and the cowherd men all heard the story from the boys, they felt great happiness because naturally they loved Krishna, and hearing about his glories and victorious activities, they became still more affectionate towards him, thinking that the child Krishna was saved, thinking that the child Krishna was saved from the mouth of death. They began to see his face with great love and affection. They were full of anxieties, but they could not turn their faces from the vision of Krishna. The gopis and the men began to converse amongst themselves about the child Krishna was attacked in so many about how the child Krishna was attacked by in so many ways and many times by many demons, and yet the demons were killed and Krishna was uninjured. This is the way. Whatever is good, always the goodness always wins over the evil. Here it is Lord Krishna himself. Then what to speak of that? They continue to converse amongst themselves about how so many great demons in such fierce bodies attacked Krishna to kill him, but by the grace of Hari they could not cause even a slight injury. Rather they died like small flies in a fire. This they remembered uh, the words foretold by the astrologer, their family priest, by dint of his vast knowledge of the Vedas and astrology that this boy would be attacked by many demons. Now they're actually seeing that this is coming true and word for word. So all the elderly cowherd men, including Nan Maharaj, used to talk of the wonderful activities of Lord Krishna and Balaram. And they were always so much absorbed in those talks that they forgot the threefold miseries of the material existence. This is the effect of Krishna consciousness. In the material world, people always want to be free from misery. They don't know happiness. Just being free from misery is happiness they feel. But happiness in itself has its own existence. It's not that there's no misery means there is happiness. It's not like that. So this this cowherd men, including Nan Maharaj, were talking about the wonderful activities of Lord Krishna and Balram, and they were completely engrossed and absorbed in those talks, and they forgot the threefold miseries of this material existence. Now, what was enjoyed 5,000 years ago by Nan Maharaj can still be enjoyed by persons who are in Krishna consciousness simply by talking about the transcendental pastimes of Krishna and his associates. Thus, both Balaram and Krishna enjoyed this childhood pastimes, imitating sometimes the monkeys, and sometimes they used to imitate pastimes among their friends and happily pass their childhood life. So this in this chapter, the killing of Bakasura and Vatsasura, these are the beautiful pastimes, and we must read it daily and keep it in our daily read. So we are each time you get a new insight into it, and you will find some new joy. And not only that, you will get you will also get about ideas about how to go ahead and serve the Lord in a better way. So reading this daily would be of great help. And of course this pastime of this Lord Krishna and Balram and Vrindavan are really very uh, full of joy, and it's a great joy even when we are not so, you know, the even when we are not so advanced, it gives so much pleasure. So what to speak when we will have some advanced stage and we read it and understand, and then understand how to serve the Lord. Hari Bol.